Good afternoon, those masters and guests, and our audience online. Please confirm you can hear me clearly. Someone online can unmute and confirm if he or she can hear me. It's very, very bright.
I think it's way better if you have all these lights.
Please confirm you can hear me online.
Yeah, we can hear
Hello,
you.
we can hear you. Oh.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. Good afternoon. And good afternoon to Toastmasters and guests online. Welcome to Seaside Toastmasters Club. And we are about to start the meeting. If you are a guest and this happens to be your first time at the club, Seaside is one of over 1,400 clubs scattered all over the world. It means that anywhere you find yourself around the world, there's a likelihood that you will find a Toastmasters club. And what we do at Toastmasters, we help people develop their public speaking and leadership skills. For Seaside Toastmasters, this is the first meeting in the month of March. We meet here every first Saturday of the month, and we meet online every second Saturday of the month. So our first Saturday meeting is physical here at Echo Hotels and Suites, Victoria Island, Lagos. And we are also online on Zoom. So it's a hybrid meeting today. Welcome once again to Seaside Toastmasters Club. To proceed to have a very pleasant meeting today, I would like to establish some ground rules that will help us in the course of our meeting. The first is that for those of us physically here, we are encouraged to keep our phones on silent or switch it off as much as we can, so that we don't have a situation where we have phones ringing during the course of the meeting. That can be quite distracting. The second ground rule is that we are encouraged to, as much as possible, limit our movement around the hall. That means that we should time our movement. Maybe when we want to use the restroom, we should do that just after a speaker has finished speaking, so that we don't keep the hall rowdy while we have someone here speaking. And to our audience online, speaking from the virtual space, you are encouraged to have your videos turned on. And if you are not speaking at a time, to restrict any form of noise, please keep your microphones on mute. Welcome once again to Seaside Toastmasters Club. It is my delight to have you. As we proceed into the meeting, we will start by taking the Toastmasters promise. Toastmasters in the room, please all on your feet as we take Toastmasters promise together. So let's go. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my abilities, based on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and field meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow,
to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings solely to benefit Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education and recognition programs, to act within Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. So we have promised.
Thank you very much. So we have promised. You may have your seats. Thank you once again. And welcome everyone once again to Seaside Toastmasters Club. To move this meeting forward, I'll be inviting the president of the club. Our president is an experienced advertising and business strategist. He serves on the board of some technology-driven companies, and he is passionate about technology-driven solutions and community service. Our president joined Toastmasters to improve his public speaking and leadership abilities. Dear Toastmasters and guests, please, if your hands are not busy, please jam your hands together to welcome our president, Toastmaster Morning. Please give clap and give clap.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ogunaya, the Sergeant at Arms, for today's meeting and for Seaside Toastmasters Club. Thank you for calling the meeting order to order and also setting the tone for today's meeting. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome. This is the first day in the month of March 2025, and we are super excited to have you spend the first day in the month of 2025 in a Seaside Toastmasters meeting. I'd like to say a very big welcome to every one of us that are here present and those who are virtually present. And I'd like to kindly request, in the spirit of welcoming us to our meeting and to the first meeting in the month of March, I'd like that we warmly welcome somebody that is sitting very close to us. Shake them, tell them good things, they are dressed nice. Perhaps you may also want to know their name as well. Yes, and for those online, please also extend the same gesture. Please use the comment section to welcome somebody.
I was sitting outside, I think you came out.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Welcome to Seaside Toastmasters Club. At Seaside Toastmasters Club, we are here to become better communicators. We are also here to become better leaders. I'd like to encourage every one of us, both everyone joining us here physically and those joining us virtually, to kindly engage in today's meeting. Today, we have the team of executives that have done the very tedious work to put together today's meeting for our own delight. And I promise you that today's meeting is going to be a very interesting and a very exciting meeting. The mission of Toastmasters International and Seaside Toastmasters Club is to create a positive and supportive learning experience, whereas members are empowered to become better communicators and better leaders, thereby resulting to greater self-development and as well as personal development. The theme of our meeting today is break barriers, build bridges. The world in its raw form is full of challenges, a lot of obstacles, a lot of failures. And for us to actually achieve our full potential, we need to see how to get past those barriers that are limiting us from getting to achieve those full form of who we intend to become. And the first part of getting to break a barrier is to first recognize that barriers exist. When you are able to identify barriers, then you have to develop the courage to then break those barriers. Breaking barriers is not just the only thing that we are expected to do. while we strive towards breaking barriers, we should also strive towards getting to build bridges. Building bridges has to do with us getting to create connections, has to do with us getting to create sustainability, getting to create an effective succession plans, so that people can also take off from where we have stopped and also be able to build on top of it. As we are gathered here in Toastmasters International, we have identified the barrier, which may be in communication, which may also be in leadership. And we are all here to overcome those barriers. But something I have noticed, both locally, internationally, and people who have interacted with, some people end up achieving the first part of things, which is breaking the barrier. But also, they forget that they also have to build connection. So the theme of our meeting here today is reminding us of the need to break barrier, yes, and it's also reminding us of the need to build connections, to build bridges, so that the barriers we have broken would also be able to sustain it, or other people can also be able to succeed those barriers and be able to build on top of it for subsequent achievements. Once again, I'd like to say a very big welcome to everyone who has made our time today to join us in our Seaside Toastmasters meeting. Our inspirational quote for today's meeting is from Roy T. Bennett, and he said that do not allow your fears to become walls, turn them into bridges. Therefore, by the powers vested on me as the president of the Seaside Toastmasters Club, I'd like to declare today's meeting open. Welcome. A typical Toastmasters meeting has an umpire, someone who is charged to transition us in the course of the program into different segments of the meeting that we have designed for our pleasure today. In Toastmasters, we call that person the TMOD, which is the Toastmaster of the day. And in a typical social event, we call that person an MC, we also call that person a host. And for today's meeting, we have a distinguished fellow who is going to be our TMOD for today's meeting. And our TMOD is a curious individual who currently makes a living as a digital product designer. He constantly gets lost in the rabbit hole of seemingly mundane literature. He is the immediate past president of Surulere Toastmasters Club. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, with a virtual round of applause and a physical round of applause, please join me as we welcome the Toastmasters on the day.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
With a show of hands, are there any guests in the room? Here we have a guest. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
So the quote for the day says, do not allow your fears to become walls, turn them into bridges. Toastmaster Francis, what fear do you have that could turn into a wall? Can you take that question again? What fear do you have that could turn into a wall? That could turn into a wall. Okay. The fear of swimming. I believe that after this meeting, you'll be willing to try to break through that wall. I've tried to. Toastmaster will go now. Do you have any fears that are beginning to become walls in front of you?
It's the fear of, I don't have fear. So the fear that one day they'll give me food and I won't eat it. But it never happens.
I have a fear staring at me in the face right now.
What's the plan?
It's the fear that I will not connect with this audience. Because I mean, look at how everybody's sitting far away from me, like they are running. So please, I don't want my fears to become a wall. So I would like to encourage us to please move forward. Let's occupy seats in front. Thank you. Moving on into my role as Toastmaster of the day. My role is basically to serve as an MC of sorts. I will be introducing our speakers, introducing evaluators, and transitioning the meeting from segment to segment to segment. Our president has told us what we come here to do at Toastmasters. A typical Toastmasters meeting has 3 major segments. There's a 4th segment, which I refer to as a minor segment, the introductory part of the meeting, which is where we are now. We have 3 major segments in a Toastmasters meeting. There is the prepared speech segment, where members who are working in Toastmasters educational program pathways, they have come home. They are working with specific objectives. They go home, write speeches, rehearse their speeches, and come here to dazzle us. There's the table topics portion of the meeting, where you get called off the stage without preparation. It is a session where people's fears come to life, and their fears would become walls in front of them. And there's a 3rd segment which crowns it all. The evaluation segment. In the evaluation segment, everything we do in the meeting, we get feedback about, because that is what we come to Toastmasters to do. We come here to learn by practicing, but we don't only practice. We get feedback about our practice, and our feedback serves to make us better speakers and better leaders. For the feedback session for today, there's a role player we call the general evaluator, who is going to champion that segment. Anytime I play either Toastmaster or general evaluator, and this gentleman plays the other, they're always at odds. He is an actuarial analyst passionate about universal health coverage. He is a Toastmasters Triple Crown Award winner, and he is the Vice President Education of Seaside Toastmasters Club. He's the one who puts together this meeting. With a resounding round of applause, let us welcome to the lectern Toastmaster Kudus Adebayo.
You might. I don't know why you want to give me the mic.
That's not it.
No, you started it. I said it. I was just coming up then you said if you.
Yes.
And I think Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
As it Toastmasters.
I mean, it's the microphone. I don't see the great lights.
Can you? Yeah. Can you hear me from the virtual? Please confirm you can hear me. Hello, can someone confirm you can hear me online? Hi, Tomilola, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but not as loud as the previous speaker.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely, that's better now.
Thank you very much. As the Toastmaster of the day just said, I will play the role of the general evaluator. And in this role, I am going to be privileged to evaluate everything, but unfortunately, except snacks, because I'm fasting, so I can't evaluate snacks. That's the only thing I can't evaluate here. But I will be evaluating everything and anything. If you cough and don't cough, I will evaluate you. If you smile and you don't smile well, I will evaluate you. And to do this, it's going to be a lot of work. I'm not going to be doing it alone. I will have to do it with
a team that is being called tag team. And the tag team today is a formidable one. You know what I mean by that. So I'm going to introduce the tag team. We start with the grammarian. The grammarian for today is Toastmaster Francis Mukoli. He is an experienced accountant and a triple crown Toastmasters award winner, an ACB and LAMB holder. He loves to wear a smile, so the world can smile back at him. When there's no balancing account, he loves to listen to alternative forms music. And I want to take this one out. He loves to watch jazz now for popular. To give an applause to Francis.
Please, let's keep clapping. Thank you. Give me the light to serve as your grammarian for today. My role is very simple, a simple one. It's in two facets. First off, to introduce a new word to you. And our word for today is MIRO. What happened? I check the agenda and see. There's a word now in front of me, but I will skip past this one. So check your agenda, you will see the word is actually there. Okay, we've broken that barrier. We've connected now to this new word of the day. Please, can you put your hands together for the bad education? I need you to reference. Our word for today is MIROTHFUL. Multiple. Again. My students again. Thank you very much. Anyone online to take it? First person. 1, 2, 3, go. Anybody online? Take it on behalf of the other online participants. Somebody say anything. Are you Toastmaster gonna beckon on anybody to help us say it online? Okay, unmute yourself and shoot. Okay, thank you very much. So the word means mark with high spirit, happiness, humor, and the synonyms are merry, jolly, cheerful, and jovial. Word forms. We have mirth, which is the noun, mirthfully, the adverb, mirthfulness, noun. So let me give you 2 examples in the different word forms. The mirthful Toastmaster Wendy had a warm smile as she opened her Valentine gifts. She did that was last week during Valentine. The second example is she winked at us mirthfully as she left the room. So I know the word is a little unusual, so that is why we are Toastmasters. I want to test our results to see how we're able to just infuse through the word as we speak today. So the second part of my role is the grammar police to ensure that we use the right word, the right phrases, the right sentences, and our construction are correct. So where you speak not in the correct way, the grammarian is there to correct, to take note of it. I will also applaud those who use splendiferous construction, sentences, and all. And you'll be awarded. Don't ask me the award, the grammarian level. So thank you very much. It's a delight to serve as your grammarian. I'll go back to my seat to contribute my reports.
You would agree with me that mouthful is mouthful.
That does not happen.
It might take me.
Begin the poll.
If you don't, you won't get his remuneration. Thank you very much, the next, my next team member that was meeting, the timekeeper. The timekeeper is Toastmaster Benita Oshili, and she's a realtor. She's that person that gives you the best valuable information to property appreciation. Managed globally. And when she's giving that, she's giving you without search. Our philosophy has always been that she always wants you to know before you decide on acquiring any property anywhere in the world, you have to get valuable information first about the location, or at least hire someone with experience like her, because she will do all what she can to help you accomplish your real estate investment goal. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Good afternoon, fellow friends.
Good afternoon.
There is a saying or is a song, time now more you. So today I'm going to be the timekeeper. So for all our speakers and all evaluators for today, you're going to watch out for me. I'll be sitting right there. So with my devices, but these are my devices. Then for the speakers, okay, some speech durations are 5 to 7 minutes. Once you see the green card, that means you are still on time. You keep speaking. So once you see the yellow means you spent 6 minutes, continue speaking. Then the red means you have 30 minutes to wrap up. The red does not mean you should automatically stop, but you have 30 minutes, 30 seconds to wrap up your speech. Then for the second speech that we have here, 3 minutes, between 3 minutes to 4 minutes. You also watch out for my card. The green means we are still on point, continue speaking. Then the yellow is when you have spoken from 3 minutes to 30 seconds. Then once you see the red, it means you have 15 seconds to wrap up your speech. So all the speakers, the role players, the evaluators, watch out, because I'm going to be timing for the activities of today. Then at the end of the day, I'll come back here to give my report to those who kept the time well. Thank you.
Can you just tell us for table topics and just quickly tell us?
Okay. The table topic is 2 minutes. 1 to 2 minutes. So the green card, once you see the green card, you know that you're still on point speaking. Then the yellow, you have spent 1 minute, 30 seconds. Then the red, you have 15 seconds to wrap up your speech. Thank you.
I'll just add that once you see the red card, you have 30 seconds to wrap up your speech for table topics. Thank you very much to Toastmasters for that explanation of the role. And then my last role player is the accountant, Toastmaster Imibasi. She's an entrepreneur and sales strategist, passionate about real estate. Every client find perfect home and people. She promotes wellness through yoga. She believes that health is key to success. And her core value is honest, and I believe in making the world a better place. Please welcome Toastmaster Amy as make us a better person.
Dear Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
Happy New Month.
Happy New Month, Christians.
Okay, my role today is the role of the counter, and my job is simple. So I'll be observing the speakers that speak, and also I'll be pointing out and noting the false filler words like and, so, So in Toastmasters Club, we always encourage all our speakers to try as much as possible to speak without the false filler words or sound in order to deliver a quality speech. So at the end of the meeting, just make sure so. At the end of the meeting, I'll come to give my report. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. That is my team. At the end of this meeting, we are going to come back to give our reports of this meeting so far. So, should I hand over to you?
Please, let's give the evaluation team minus the general evaluator a round of applause. Before we move on into the prepared speech segment, I have a question for some members of the audience. Let's start from the online audience. Tomilola, I have a very simple question for you relating to the theme of the day. What barrier did you have to break through before you got where you are, or to get where you are now? In 30 seconds.
All right, very good question, Bolarwa. I think the barrier I had to break through is the fear of people's opinion about me. If you hear me sound, my voice sounds quite feminine and all, so it had like a huge impact on me growing up. And I think the moment I just began to embrace that, so it's nothing, and whatever comment I get from it really doesn't matter. It had a really huge impact on my life in general. And that has probably been my greatest confidence from now. And it had a huge impact on my life. Thank you. That's the barrier I had to break through.
Thank you. I think that's a very beautiful barrier to break through, people's impression of you. At this point, we will be moving into the prepared speech segments. And our first speaker for today is going to be evaluated. Master Gona Ayawu. Toastmaster Ugona is a sales and marketing professional, a sports and fitness enthusiast. He loves to spend quiet time in nature and enjoys playing the game of chess. With a round of applause, let's welcome Toastmaster Ugona to give us the speech objectives for the press speaker.
Good afternoon once again, Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
Our first speaker is going to deliver a project, and the purpose of that is for him to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. Now, for the guests, this is what that implies. It means our first speaker has three things to do. First, he is going to deliver a speech, which I believe he is doing today, and he will receive feedback on that speech. Then he has the obligation to go back and apply that feedback and deliver the same or a different speech in a different Toastmasters meeting. Then the final aspect of the project is he will practice to also give feedback to fellow club members. So this is the beginning of the project. And for the speech today, the purpose of this speech is for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. I wish our speaker the best, and it's back to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Our first speaker is a seasoned architect and founder of Design Catalog Limited, a Nigerian-based firm delivering top-notch architectural and project management services across Africa. With a passion for creative, ethical, and high-standard designs, he brings over a decade of experience to the table, holding a degree from Obafemi Awolowo University and University of Lagos. He has built a reputation for contemporary and modern designs that prioritize simplicity and boldness. He contributes to industry growth through mentorship and community engagement in his free time. Our first speaker is Toastmaster Olusegun Ibitoye, delivering a speech with the title, First Impressions. First Impressions, Toastmaster Olusegun Ibitoye.
Thank you. Please let's give ourselves a mirthful round of applause. Thank you. Today we're going to be breaking barriers and making meaningful connections with first impression. First impression is very important. An anonymous person once said that you don't get a second opportunity to make a first impression. I'm sure you've been in situations where you met someone and they've left a lasting good impression on you, even long after they've gone. That is the purpose of having a good first impression. Now, studies show that you need just 7 seconds to either make a good first impression or have a good first impression. And even if that first impression is not so accurate, at the end of the day, it is still a first impression nonetheless, right? I'll tell you a story, a personal story. So while I was in university, there's something we used to call personal projects, PP for short. So it's a situation where we get to do like works, design works for clients outside of school, works that are live that they can build. So there was this client that was wealthy and we had to do a design for him. I was speaking to his personal assistant all through, I didn't speak to him directly. And it got to the point where we did the job and almost concluded the job, but the money wasn't coming for. Now I was trying to track him, that's the client himself. And one day I was in school with my backpack, it was a sunny day, and I heard that the client was on site. Immediately I took a bike and I went straight to the site. So it's a construction site and the client was on the first floor and there's a road right in front of the site. So I took the bike to the gate and I highlighted from the bike. Unfortunately for me, the client was on the first floor looking at me. So as I approached him, sweaty, backpack, everything, the man just said, "You this boy, what do you need 100,000 naira for?" Like, I don't understand. It felt like the floor should open and I should enter because I was very, very embarrassed. Now, one thing I learned from that is how you arrive matters. How you come into a space matters a lot. So I want to charge you today that you should be intentional with your first impression. And how can you do that? First, as I said earlier, how do you arrive? You need to be very intentional about how you arrive. Your demeanor, the way you look, the way you're dressed. Don't be like me, jumping a bike and coming down in front of clients because you can be approached that way. So, secondly, I'll say that confidence is a state of mind, right? Confidence is a state of mind. It's something that you can visualize, practice over and over again, and imbibe it, and it becomes you. So that's for confidence. Then thirdly, you have to be true to yourself. People see through fakeness in quotes and don't overcompensate. Just be real to yourself and it will shine through to the other person. Then lastly, listen intensely and speak intentionally. If you're able to combine all of this, I feel you would have a good first impression. And as I said, it's okay to aim to have a good first impression with people. So as I wrap up my speech, I'll say making a first impression requires the shortest time possible, just 7 seconds, right? I learned the hard way, but the good news is that it's a skill that can be learned and you have to be intentional. So I challenge you today to be deliberate the next time you know that you're about to make a first impression. You know that saying that says, don't judge a book by its cover. Unconsciously, I think we all judge books by their covers. So when you're going to be judged, when your book is going to be judged, make sure that it's a good cover. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for the first speaker. What was your takeaway from that speech? Please, can you tell us in one line, what was your takeaway from the speech? Yes. Oh.
My takeaway from the speech is that we should take ourselves seriously and we should present ourselves the way we want to be perceived.
Thank you. Take yourself seriously. My takeaway was you don't get a second chance to make a good first impression. Take yourself seriously. Thank you. We're moving on to the second speaker, and the second speaker is going to be evaluated by a Toastmaster who is the founder of Linguatopia. Our hobbies include traveling and scouting the latest coffee shops. And our favorite quote is, "No man can climb out beyond the limitations of his own character," a quote attributed to John Morley. Please let us, with a round of applause, welcome our second speech evaluator, Toastmaster Feng Swinner.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
It's an honor to be evaluating TM Dara this afternoon. And the purpose of her speech is for her to show how well she's able to write a speech with an emphasis on adding language to increase interest and impact. So I will be looking out for her use of descriptive words and literary elements such as plot and setting, and to also think about the flow of the story or information that she's passing across today. So in other words, is it engaging and is it interesting? Thank you.
Our second speaker for today's meeting is a lawyer and a one-time secretary of Lighthouse Toastmasters Club, of Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club, who joined Toastmasters in 2009. She loves Toastmasters and she loves Toastmasters. She loves socializing, writing, and reading. She won the best table topic speaker at area level contests, and she is the past vice president membership of the Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club. She will be speaking today from the Dynamic Leadership Pathway, Level 3, Project 3. And the title of her speech is Superpower and Super Weakness. Superpower and Super Weakness. Toastmaster Dara Lalane.
I was 5 years old, Houston, Texas. And there was this device in the playground. It had a ladder propped up, another ladder on top, and another ladder to climb down. They called it monkey bars. And there was a sand pit underneath. So the purpose of the monkey bars was you swing from bar to bar like a monkey. And if for any reason you fall down, you fall into the sand pit so you do not get injured. So here I was, swinging from side to side. And I see my best friend at the time, Annabelle. And she was coming from the opposite direction. But I noticed that she was about to fall. Her grip on the bars was slipping. So I had a very, very, very bright idea. I thought to myself, if I could hold her up, she will not fall. How did I hold her up? I bit her. And of course, she fell faster than rain falls to the earth. She screamed. She wailed. She cried. And I got lines. I will never bite anyone again 1,000 times. Now, the Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. I think I'm a very self-aware person. And that was what drove me to help her. I thought to myself, I need to make sure she doesn't fall. Empathy. But maybe it would have been better if I had bit her the sleeve of her dress. Maybe the strength of my teeth could hold her up. I had another experience. This was much recently. I was driving home from work. I was almost home. I was on that long Osborne stretch. And I saw some escorts in a convoy. It was a green car. So I assumed it was a Navy personnel or Army, or the Army. And I told myself, today, I'm not giving anyone quota. I'm a good driver, thanks to God only. So they tried to overtake me, and I said no. They tried to push me out of the way. I said no, not today. And there were some of them in a pickup at the back with guns. And one of them looked so angry. He was livid. He was boiling. You could see the anger on his face. But at a point, I realized that I need to give in. Because I was approaching a barrier and they were trying to push me out of the road. And I had nowhere to turn. So I just slowed down and they overtook me. But there was a traffic light. So they had to stop. And this particular soldier looked at me with so much anger and loathing. If he could have jumped out of that car, he would have. But what did I do? I smiled. And then I stuck my tongue out at him. Now, my superpower. My superpower is empathy. It's self-awareness. We all have different superpowers. For some, it's talents like singing, public speaking, writing. For others, it's more emotional. Being courageous, being kind. But the amazing thing about superpowers are you need to know when to use it. Because if you don't use it at the right time or in the right way, the superpower becomes a super weakness. Biting Annabelle came out of a place of concern. In my 5-year-old mind, I was trying to help her, but that is not what happened at the end. Trying to flex my driving muscles came out of a place of, I know I'm a good driver, and these individuals should not be allowed to bully me and other road users. But I could have been seriously hurt because they were intended on hurting me. If you do not use your superpowers appropriately or even at all, they become super weaknesses. And everyone here has different superpowers. How you're using it, I'm not too sure, but you know. And if you're not sure that you're using it properly, this speech should encourage you, ginger you, make you think of ways you can harness your superpowers so they do not become super weaknesses. It's a muscle, and like a muscle, if you don't use it, use it. If you don't use your singing voice, use it. If you don't use your writing skills, you become rusty. Ladies and gentlemen, turn your superpowers into amazing superpowers. Do not allow them to be super weaknesses. The Toastmaster.
Another round of applause for Toastmasters. Turn your superpowers into
amazing superpowers.
Don't let them become
super weaknesses.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dara. And I think my takeaway was you have to use your superpowers intentionally. Don't just use them out of using them. Use them. Be intentional with how you use the superpowers you are dealt with. We will be moving on to our next speaker. And our next speech evaluator is Toastmaster Joel Ebube Modi. Joel Ebube Modi is an experienced advertising and business strategist. He serves on the board of some technology-driven companies. He is passionate about technology-driven solutions and community service. He joined Toastmasters to improve his public speaking and leadership skills. And at this point, he will be giving us the speech objectives for the next speaker. A round of applause for Toastmaster.
So much, Toastmaster of the day, and good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
Today, I'm going to be evaluating an exceptional Toastmaster, someone who has been very consistent with getting to these speeches and has continuously recorded improvements in the speeches that has been delivered. Her completion of today's speech is going to earn her the Triple Crown Toastmasters Award. And she's speaking from the level 3, project 3 of the dynamic of the presentation mastery pathway. And she is expected to deliver practice delivering a speech that has to do with social speeches in front of the club. Toastmaster Adewumi is a seasoned speaker who has gone through different cycles of speaking, and I am very confident that she's going to do justice to her speech today. I wish her the best, Toastmaster Adewumi, as you speak, and back to you, TMO.
Third speaker is a recipient of the prestigious Jeremy Bentham Award from the University College London. She is the managing partner of the law firm Legal In. She is an experienced legal and compliance professional with project, business, and commercial experience. She has an outstanding record of delivering excellent legal and operational outcomes. Her expertise spans international joint ventures, venture capital, development capitalists, and regulatory and licensing regimes. She is Toastmaster Adewumi Obakoya. And today she will be speaking from level 3, project 3 of presentation mastery pathway. And she will be delivering a toast on the power of connection, a toast to growth. The power of connection, a toast to growth. Toastmaster Adewumi Obakoya.
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy New Month. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Happy New Month. Ellen Keller, an American author, once said, and I quote, "Alone, we can do so little, but together, we can achieve so much." This quote beautifully encapsulates what Seaside Toastmaster is all about. I stand before you today giving this speech, not because I plan to, but because of the last minute push and encouragement I got last night. After an exotic week, I dreaded the thought of standing before you to give a speech. I had not read my speech objective, had not written anything down, had not even thought about a project, a topic, or what to speak on. There was no way I was going to give this speech. So I sent a message to TM Kudos, explaining to him, opting out of my slot to speak today, and explaining to him that I was just not prepared. It's been an hectic week full of deliverables that I've not even met. And he said, okay. So I gave up on giving a speech. But late last night, I got a call from our able president. And he said to me, "TM Adewumi, please, I need you to give a speech." And I gave him exactly the same excuse I gave TM Kudos. TM Adewumi, I can't though. It's been hectic for me. I have deliverables. I'm coming down with a sore throat. I don't think I can give a speech tomorrow. And he says, I think you can if you push yourself. You know, it's a speech on social speeches. I don't mind. I'll send you your speech objective, and I can even share with you some of the materials I've written in the past. Maybe it will assist you to come up with a speech. And I said, okay, when I get those materials, I will decide. And this was late last night. And he did send me my speech objective, sent me some materials that he has worked with in the past. And the moment I got those materials, it triggered something in me. This is what Toastmaster is all about. It's not about me, but it's about a collective group of individuals coming together, holding each other's hands as we embark on this journey of personal development. And I got up and I started writing this toast. And with that push, I stand before you today. And what a speech to give, if not a toast to each and every one of you, admirable individuals, that you make this journey possible, holding each other's hands. My fellow Toastmasters, let's give together. Let's raise our glasses and give a toast to our beloved Seaside Toastmasters Club, a community of individuals that understand and appreciate the power and the essence of meaningful association. Let us raise our glasses to personal development, personal growth, shared experiences, and the relentless support that we give each other as we embark on this journey of self-development. Together, we can achieve so much more than we could ever achieve alone. So, fellow Toastmasters, cheers to everyone and cheers to all of us. Thank you.
Cheers.
Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, Toastmaster Adewumi, for that wonderful toast. You toasted us. So how do you expect us to feel? Thank you so much for your speech. We'll be moving on to the fourth speaker. And the fourth speaker is exactly the same objectives as the third and the same evaluator. So there will be no need to introduce the evaluator. Our fourth speaker is a legal practitioner and presently the chief legal officer and company secretary of a group of companies. She enjoys enlightening women on how intimacy with God can help them become all they were created to be on the journey to greatness. Our goal is to become the avital woman of global influence and impact. She is blessed with a loving family, an amazing husband, and 3 blessed boys. Our fourth speaker is Toastmaster Abisola Lekon Akombi, and she will also be delivering a social speech, an acceptance speech, accepting a nomination as social and welfare sec. Over to you, Toastmaster Abisola.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It is my honor to be here today to accept the worthy nomination of the estate that I live in as the Social and Welfare Secretary. We have all heard it said that our body is the home that we live in. But I dare to say today that the environment that we live in shelters the body that we live in. Also, in a community of different categories of people, where we have older generations, we have young children, we have mid-level managers, we have people of all manner of caliber. It is only fair as a people that we come together to honor the ecosystem that has brought us together as one, our social environment, the environment that we live in. I am very, very pleased and honored to accept this role. And as I assume office, I believe that I have your full support to manage this office effectively. Why do I require your support on this journey? I require your support on this journey because a nation develops not just by one person. How can we make our environment better so that our welfare is ensured? Can each one take care of its own environment in the immediate so that each quarter or each aspect of the estate that we live in has an oversight over it? How are we going to do this? How are you taking care of your homes such that rodents and pests and all are not infecting other people in the environment? How are we taking care of our waste so that we're not causing a nuisance to any other person? Let us first of all maintain our health and hygiene, and then we can marry and journey. Part of the things that I have proposed for us as an estate is how we can encourage each other to have fun, even as we navigate life. We have had many Christmas parties. I can only promise you that the Christmas parties will be better, nicer, and more enjoyable. Also, in the immediate, one thing I would also like us to do is to develop a community social center. A community social center where we would have a swimming pool, a squash course. We would have a children's play area so that we can all converge in this community center, get to know each other, build and foster more meaningful relationship, be a watch person for each other. Because if we live together in this environment, even though we have families in every other place, I can assure you that your neighbor is closer to you than your family is. How better to foster a relationship by making your neighbor an ally rather than an opposition? With this gratitude speech, I want to encourage all of us to make sure that one can reach all. We all look out for each other. We are all our neighbor's keeper. We watch out for our environment, and we uphold the state of hygiene, wellness, and well-being of each individual in this estate as one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abisola, and I believe I speak on behalf of the entire room when I say we are ready to support you on this journey as you become our social and welfare sec. And we will hold you to all that you have promised us. And thank you once again, Toastmaster Abisola. What a mirthful nominee for welfare sec. It's a round of applause for our once more. At this point, we will be moving to our next speaker, our final speaker for today, but not the least by any regard. And our final speaker will be evaluated by Toastmaster Francis Mukolu, who has already been introduced. Toastmaster Francis, please give us the speech objectives of our speaker.
Thank you most kindly, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Don't you think that exchange deserves an applause? We applaud for a living at Toastmaster. Please, you know you've not been necessary. Come ready to exercise the most. Please. Toastmaster Ajani Ibrahim. Okay, the Toastmaster of the day will give the part and all. The purpose of your speech is for the member to practice developing a plan and bringing that plan into fruition. The member will share some aspects of his planning and implementing of a small-scale project. Mind you, mirthful Toastmaster Ajani, that this project is not to give a report on your planning and implementation project, but just to tell us about the plan to execute and come about a small-scale project. Toastmaster of the day.
Our final speaker for today is Toastmaster Ajani Ibrahim. He is a registered surveyor. He provides surveying services to help individuals and organizations with their land procurement and title registration needs. He is the immediate past president at Seaside Toastmasters Club. His hobbies include playing chess, exploring poetry, and watching sitcoms. And as the evaluator rightfully described him, he is the mirthful Toastmaster Ajani Ibrahim. He will be speaking from level 3, project 3 of leadership development. And the title of the speech is No Drama in Surveying. No Drama in Surveying. Toastmaster Ajani.
My name is Ibrahim Hajani, and I am a land surveyor. My ex-girlfriend used to call me robot, so I thought I would talk like one today. And if you wonder what's the deal with this microphone, it's not just a mic, it's my speech. So think of it, me holding it as me sticking to the script. Yeah, with a stupid joke. So let's get started. I want to ask you a question. But before I ask the question, I want to explain something a little bit about my speech. During my speech today, I'll be using the word surveying a lot. And when I mention surveying, what I'm talking about is land surveying, not estate surveying or quantity surveying or online surveying, land surveying. So let me ask you this question, and it's not a tricky question or anything. If you can't answer it, just consider it a rhetorical question. I just want you to think about it. Do you know why there are no movies about surveying or surveyors? Or have you ever seen a movie where the main character is a surveyor and it goes around surveying lands? The same way you have movies about lawyers or doctors or accountants. Just think about it. Do you know why?
No, I guess it's boring.
I wouldn't call it boring. I would say it's because there is no drama in surveying. That's why there are no movies about surveyors. There's no drama in surveying. Unless, of course, you're working in a deep, dark forest in the middle of nowhere, and you're fully focused on that modern theodolites that surveyors call to that station. And you're drawing these reconnaissance diagrams, sketching, and you're fully focused, you're zoning. And all of a sudden, some tall-looking thugs show up carrying cutlasses, and they're like, anyone here? And although, because translation, what they're saying is, get out of the side before we cut into pieces. And although you're brave, but you're not that brave, so you pack your survey equipment and you run out of the site because surveying is not that deep. So it's important to stay alive. Unless something like that happens, there's no drama in surveying at all. There's no drama. Or unless you're going to sites right in the middle of Lagos and you got double-crossed by some by policemen, and they insist that you must follow them to the police station. And to their defense, in their defense, rather, the police station is not so far away. And you go to the police station, and they didn't take you inside. They ask you to stay outside the police station, and they start inspecting your survey equipment, which were inside boxes and cases. And before you know it, they ask you to open one of the cases. And you find yourself outside in the car with a case in front of you, and 6 Nigerian policemen all standing guard around you, instructing you, urging you, hastening you, asking you to open that case. And your hands are shaking front of the case, because although you're cool, you're not that cool. You don't have the nerve to steal. You've never been surrounded by 6 Nigerian policemen before asking you to open that case. And then there you are trying to open the case. All of them looking at you, and you're wondering, what exactly were they expecting to see when you open that case? Were they expecting that there will be some drugs or meds, some weed, or a gun inside the case? I mean, you're a surveyor. Anyways, finally opened the case, and there it was. A strong differential global positioning system, model GNI72 Pro, that's used to do precisely collect coordinates, interpretation, survey equipment. That's what was inside the case. But anyways, the policeman, realizing that they have nothing against you, decide to change the subject into, why do you speak English with such a foreign accent anyway? Well, lucky for you, that's my crime yet. So you're not feeling too mindful at that moment, but anyways, they left you a little rattled and you go to your site and work. So unless something like that happens, there's really no drama in surveying. Yeah. And to emphasize the point that there's no drama in surveying, I would just like to talk about this project I went to do at Akure in Ondo State on Wednesday. So in surveying, when you plan your project very well, things tend to go very smoothly. Prior to going to the site, we did something we call office reconnaissance, which is like the planning you do before you go and do the survey projects. And for this office reconnaissance, we have 3 key elements. About 1, communication. We communicated with the clients to understand their brief. They want to do a cadastral survey of a plot of land right in the middle of Akure. And we try to understand what it is their deliverables that they expect from us to be. And also, what else? The second element is equipment. We need to get the right equipment, and the right equipment was to that station and the GPS. The third element of the office reconnaissance was logistics. And considering the amounts of police checkpoints we met on the road that day, the best mode of transportation would have been by air. But looking at our client's budget and our pockets, we had to go by road. And we left Lagos by 7, got to Akure by 3 o'clock, and got to site by 4 o'clock. But because we had already done our office planning, we know exactly what to expect on site. On getting to the site, we did what we call the field reconnaissance. And during the field reconnaissance, we had to, it contained 2 key elements as well. Number 1, site inspection, which is moving around the perimeter of the site to make sure that there is no obstruction and to allow us to carry out our project successfully. The second element of the field reconnaissance was drawing a reconnaissance diagram, which is like a sketch that contains the boundaries, the buildings, the roads that will allow us to carry out our survey project successfully. And after carrying out the field reconnaissance, we dive deep into the data acquisition. With the data acquisition, we used our differential GPS and our total station to collect the 3-dimensional coordinates of the boundary, the buildings, and the roads leading to the site. And with that done, we're home and dry. We completed the survey project successfully. So the whole idea of my rambling so far is that if you plan your project successfully, things tend to go smoothly because there is no drama in surveying. And planning your project successfully allow you to execute your project in a way that's efficient, cost-effective, and minimizes risk. And that is my speech for you. Thank you for listening. And it's back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Who can guess my takeaway? Not the story about except if. I don't think it was except. I think those were real stories. You were caught in the forest like that. Tell us the truth.
Well, it happens a lot.
There's drama in surveying, please. There's big drama. There's big drama. He told us about that experience in asking us that there's no drama in surveying. So please, that's drama. So at this point, I would like to get the timer's report. For how long? Timer. This is your report on the timer our speaker spent.
Okay. All the speakers time except this my solution. It's not less than 5 minutes.
It's not less than 5 minutes.
And 4 minutes for 7 seconds.
Okay, thank you. So we will be voting, the ballot has been distributed, we'll be voting for the best speaker. Yeah. Okay, oh, thank you. So all our speakers are eligible to be voted. So our first speaker was Toastmaster Olusegun Ibitoye, giving us a lesson on first impressions. Our second speaker was Toastmaster Dara Lalei, who spoke to us about superpower and not letting our superpowers become super weaknesses. Our third speaker was Toastmaster Adenumi Obakoya, who gave us a toast to connection, a toast to growth. Our fourth speaker was Toastmaster Akisola Lekan, who delivered an acceptance speech on a nomination as social and welfare secretary. And our final speaker was Toastmaster Ajani Ibrahim, who seemed to tell us there was no drama in Sodri, but somewhere in the middle there was drama. So please let's cast our votes. We have lost some time in the preceding section, so we won't be going for the break. We'll be going straight into the table topics portion of the meeting. And our topics master is someone who has already been introduced, Toastmaster Olusegun Ibitoye.
Thank you very much for that mirthful round of applause. Okay, so I believe a lot of us know what table topics is about, especially for the Toastmasters in the house. But for the purpose of clarifications for the guests, the table topics section is the part where you speak extemporaneously, right? And what do I mean by that? You speak on your feet. So you are not too sure what the topic is going to be or what it will be about. But once you get the topic, you are able to speak about it extensively. And you are to speak, as the timer said earlier, you have to speak between, the least is 1 minute, right? And I think the maximum is 2 minutes. So I'll be doing it a bit differently today, right? And I mean, I got the idea from the first Toastmaster meeting I ever attended. It was this gentleman that came with a briefcase and he was dragging it along. And I was wondering, what's this drama about? And we opened the box and there were gifts. And I spoke that day. The gifts pushed me to come and try what I knew about. I was just saying different things. I talked about cards, talked about so many things. Anyways, to cut the long story short, yesterday night I was rambling through supermarkets looking for gifts for people. So I have gifts here, and I'll be picking 3 people from the live audience and 3 online. I don't know if the time will permit us, or if it won't, maybe 2. Okay, so the idea, the ground rules. No, please. So the ground rules, for you to go home with a gift, you have to speak for a minimum of 1 minute, right? And another rule, the second rule is you can either speak about the gift or you speak on the largest word on the gift, whichever works for you. I hope that is clear for the people online. So I'll be calling on the Toastmasters first to come and speak. So who's available? Toastmaster. So one Toastmaster, one audience, one guest. So you put your hands and hint. The smaller gifts are the more valuable. Exactly. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
I'm still trying to figure out what this thing is. But
Yeah, it's a scented candles. So by the time it's over, we might not need them now. I think it's for romance, but I will speak on the color of this gift. It's yellow. I like yellow because it's a cheerful color. Whenever you see yellow, you are happy. It represents the sun. It represents laughter. And if you check your phones, your emojis are mostly in yellow. So yellow is that color that makes us happy. Whenever we see brightness, we think of yellow. And of course, the most reliable network we use in Nigeria is yellow. So everywhere we go, we see yellow. So yellow is beautiful. Yellow is nice. And I'm not yet yellow, but I'm close. I'm close to being yellow. So that is just the situation of yellow. And the thing about yellow is that when you see it, there is this, it tends to lift your mood. It's not a gloomy color, and it makes the environment a bit brighter. So I will encourage each and every one of you to embrace yellow. Yellow, it's a good color. And if you are thinking of starting that business and you want people, maybe you want to start a primary school or something that will get people happy, you can choose yellow as your school uniform. But yeah, I would not like it. So it's back to you, the David of it.
Thank you very much. For the timer, I hope it was above 1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Even though that color is unbearable. God mustard. All right, so for the second person, that would be a guest in the audience. If I'm staring at you, please come forward. Thank you. You're not in the
Good afternoon, Toastmasters. I've been presented with a gift, dark chocolate. When it comes to chocolate, it's not something I really do like, but I do have a lot of friends who love them. And when I win this chocolate today, I'm going to present it to my best friend because I know he loves chocolate. Although I don't love chocolate, but when it comes to buying gifts and giving people gifts, I believe it's important to appeal to their self-interest rather than what you want as a person. So this is going to serve as a symbol of reminder for me to always take into consideration what the other person wants when I'm thinking about doing something for that person, rather than thinking about what I want. Well, I know a lot of you want to taste chocolate, but I won't give it to you. I'm going to keep it for my friend. And on this particular chocolate, we have the color red, which is a symbol of love. And like Ugona said, although Valentine is over, we still need to express the love that we do have for each other. And yeah, I really hope I've used up to 1 minute. If I'm not, I'm going to get comfortable. And what makes up a chocolate? What makes up a chocolate? You have sugar. Yeah, what else do we have? What else do we have? Cocoa. Interesting, because cocoa is one of the things that actually really helped our economy as a nation. And before we started depending on oil, I mean, cocoa was doing so much for us. And I think it's very important that we also start to produce chocolate like this, instead of depending on Switzerland and every other province nation to import chocolate. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll go to the online pick so that I can really pick. So for the people online, you can nominate someone in the live audience to pick for you, and then they show you and you talk about it. If you speak past 1 minute, then the person can hand the gift over to you at any point that you need. So can we have someone online? Can someone volunteer? TM Billy. Is TM Billy online?
Someone raised his hand. Tomilola's hand is up.
Okay, so let's go with that's a Toastmaster, yes.
He's a guest.
He's a guest. Okay, so let's go with guests. Tomilola.
Okay, hi everybody. I think I just have Balaira help me pick it up. Balaira, whenever I see you, please pick something really valuable, okay?
Science is the more valuable.
So
Can you see?
it's super personal.
It's a body spray. Cool breeze. It's
Okay.
silver.
All right then. Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay. The most important moments in people's life are not when they have some life-defining moments or they achieve their greatest success. Sometimes it's their most difficult moments when they barely can afford what they wanted. And when life shows you all of the struggle, it's just that one friend that matters to you that you would eventually be super grateful for. It is those dark moments that you had your friend have like a cool breeze, be like a fresh breeze of refreshment that then translates into a really important moment for you. So life sometimes it's really not about the bright moments, it's those difficult times that we go through and those gray and difficult moments. But then having our friends who act as a cool breeze that then radiates our life is what matters. So friendship is super important. Having people who make a huge impact in your life just by giving you that warmth of embrace and are really shiny in your lives and had that fragrance as important as the cool breeze perfume to your life. Thank you.
A round of applause for him. Very fire. Thank you very much. So I will come back to the audience and I've asked for permission to pick one more guest. So if there's another guest in the audience, can you please come forward? Smaller kids, the more valuable.
So that means the same. Like the size.
Confession time. I don't really know much. I was invited by a friend, so I don't really know much about it. So basically, water, right? Cool. As we all know, water is very, very important in human life. No matter what we do, right? Water is very important. Basically, I think our body is like almost 70% of water. I don't know, just like everybody says. So it shows that no matter what we do, even I'm a farmer, right? So water is even very important to my farm. So in anything we do, right? So I think water is the best, right? Thank you very much. Oh, I see have time. Yes. Can I start again?
Yeah, no,
So we all know water is very, very important. Basically, I can talk from my own profession. I'm a farmer. I basically use water almost every day. So it shows that we plant for you to eat, which that food is very, very important to your body. And what makes the food comes out is the water with the help of the sun and everything. So it shows that water is very, very essential in the body. So not just in the body alone, but in every living thing, such like the animal and anything you can think of. So thank you very much. Thank you.
So you spent 1 minute, so yes. Thank you. All right, so that will be the end of the table topics section. Over to you, Toastmasters.
If you late, it's late, it's fair.
No, let me give you one.
So please confirm that. How many people spoke into that? Four. So the first person was Toastmaster Ugona, who spoke about yellow. Second person was Toastmaster. Oh, yes. What's your name? Akolade. Yes, second person was Akolade, who spoke about chocolate, dark chocolate. Third person was Tomilola, who spoke about cool breeze. And the fourth person was who spoke about water. Please, what's your name? Damilare, who spoke about water. Guess Damilare, who spoke about water. So please, it's time to fill your ballots for best table topic speaker. So as we do that, I will be inviting the table topics evaluator. Our table topics evaluator is really a special one today because she came as part of a buy one get one free offer, and then by TMOD get topics evaluator. She's a graduate of social work at from the University of Lagos. She considers herself a polymath as she finds joy in exploring various interests. She enjoys helping others and volunteers with NGOs she's passionate about. Her hobbies are journaling, storytelling, watching Netflix, and creating lists. Her favorite quote is, "It is the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting." In the round of applause, please join me as we welcome the topics evaluator, Toastmaster Poporola Jagwe.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
It is an honor to be your topics evaluator for today's meeting. So, table topics evaluation. I will start with the table topics master. So this was a really nice table topics session. I really enjoyed it, and this was the first time I was seeing something like this in a meeting. When he said it came with gifts, I was immediately excited. And I was like, of all things to do, I chose topics evaluator. But he eventually gave me a gift, so I'm happy. And I will be kind in my evaluations. I really enjoyed the session. It was fun and it was engaging. I also really loved the fact that it came with gifts and the questions were very open-ended because they allowed people to be able to speak on what that meant to them, what it looked like to them, and whatever they picked out from that gift. It was very open-ended, which is very good because table topics are not supposed to be closed-ended or based on something that is very difficult to speak about. You made it very easy for people to participate. My recommendation, however, is that for table topic session, you should ask people to introduce themselves because it helps us identify who the speakers are, especially guests. With Toastmasters, we're familiar with each other, but with guests, we might not know who is who. So asking people to introduce themselves before they start speaking would be helpful. I would also have loved that you recap the timing goal because at the point we're doing table topics, a lot of people at the beginning of the meeting might have forgotten what the timings were. Overall, this was a really beautiful session. I loved how you managed the whole situation and it was really exciting to see. Next, I will start with the speakers. Toastmaster Ugona, picked the yellow scented candle, and it decided to speak about yellow, a cheerful color. I really loved how it introduced humor, basically with how his gestures, he was able to introduce humor into his speech with gestures, and he had an introduction, he had a body, and he had a conclusion, which is very important in table topic sessions. And then he actually ended with his speech with, if you are thinking of starting a business, use yellow. If you're starting a school, use yellow as your school uniform, which is like a call to action, which was very important to see. Yeah? My recommendation, however, is that I felt your movement was not purposeful. You seemed a bit confused, and it was like you were, because of that, it affected your movement. So next time, more purposeful movements will help you deliver your speech better. Overall, it was nice, and I love how your first thought was yellow and cheerful, and the color of the sun. That was amazing. The next was the chocolate by Akolade. When he came on stage, I mean, I knew he was a guest, but it sounded like a Toastmaster. He had a really nice introduction. He even gave a backstory. He said, I don't like chocolate, but my friend does. And he went on to tell us about the importance of giving gifts. That was giving gifts that mean something to the person you're giving. That was amazing. And he gave us a personal story. And we all know as Toastmasters, personal stories help you connect with your audience. So that was really nice. Please keep doing that. What would I have recommended? You did not give a definite conclusion to your story. So you not give a definite conclusion to your story. And when you're giving a speech, always have it in mind, introduction, body, conclusion. Even if you don't give a call to action, or just make sure you conclude and that just doesn't feel like you're leaving us hanging. That was, so I also liked your use of humor. It was beautiful to hear from you, and I thought this was a beautiful speech. Thank you very much. Next is our online guest, Tomilola. He picked silver and the Cool Breeze perfume. This was really nice. It started with an abstract story. I was like, where is this going? And then eventually got to the point, and he talked about the significance of friendship. It was a really nice transition from just the perfume to friendship and having a friend that feels like Cool Breeze. That was really amazing to hear. So my recommendation, okay, I could see your screen, but your camera was not well positioned. So I would like to recommend that next time. I know because it was impromptu, you might not have been able to place your camera in a really good way, but next time, please make your camera more upright so we can see your face and perhaps your gestures. Thank you very much. And the last person to speak was Damilare, future Toastmaster Damilare. And he picked a water bottle. So what I really like about his speech is, I like how he spoke about water, and he related it to him. He said that he's a farmer and water is very important in his daily life, more than a human being. What would I like to recommend? So when you mentioned statistics, I noticed that you said about 70% of our body is water. What I would like to say is that you should have more confidence in your statistics, even when they are wrong. Because more confidence in your statistics, even when they are wrong, because that is how you let people know that you're a confident speaker. That shows confidence in yourself. So you can always research the statistics if that would like to us. Let us know if you're telling the truth. Aside that, I really enjoyed how you talked about the importance of water to yourself, and that was really beautiful to see. Thank you very much. Overall, this was a really nice and engaging session, and my last recommendation to the topics master would be to give tips on answering table topics the next time you play this role. Like I said, introduction, body, conclusion, and that would help people know how to structure their speech. Overall, you did really amazingly well. You made this session very enjoyable, and I would love to come. You should come play Toastmaster table topics master at my club. I will be stealing your tips, by the way. Thank you very much, and over to you to take them.
I applaud for inviting me because you got the gift. So thank you, Toastmaster KQ, And I can see the general evaluator looking at me one kind, because apparently I stole his role. No, this just happens, like it's unplanned. So at this point, I'd like to transition control of the meeting temporarily, in quotes, to the general evaluator, Toastmaster Kudos Adebayo.
Everyone, thank you, Toastmaster. This is no one to be here. Please, the vice president education, can we make Toastmaster the permanent wow. Yeah, thank you so much. So now we've gone to the part of the evaluation segment of the meeting, and we'll just quickly move into the best evaluation segment. I will evaluate the evaluator for the first speaker, Toastmaster Ogola.
My face is familiar here today. Good afternoon once again, Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
I'm here to deliver the evaluation for Toastmaster Olusegun Ibitoye. Please, a round of applause for Toastmaster Olusegun. I thought it was a good speech, and just like it is for most good speakers, they have this characteristics of warming themselves up to their audience. And Toastmaster Olusegun did that very well. I liked how he started with a smile. That warmth made people know that, okay, they are safe. Because sometimes some speakers come, you don't know if they came for peace or they came for war. It was clear he came for peace. And I loved how he used a story to drive his point. The story of his backpack, how he came in, ran into a client looking maybe a bit unkempt, and the client felt that he doesn't deserve the money he was asking for. So that was a good story to drive your point. Stories are important. And I also liked that the message was clear and concise. We have to make good first impressions, because sometimes we hear speakers speak for 30 minutes. After they finish, we clap and we ask our neighbor, what was he even talking about? But his message was clear. I liked that. And I also love the fact that it was an educational speech that had a good message and a good content. So as much as we enjoyed the speech, we learned something out of it. And finally, Toastmaster Olusegun, his use of hand gestures were good, like trying to demonstrate a lot. Are there things you could do differently? Yes, I saw you gave a statistic. You said, I think you gave a statistic on an educational study at the beginning of your speech, when you said, is it 70% of the time people judge us by first impression. So I thought when we get higher in speaking, it's important we give references to statistics. So according to, it gives the audience the confidence that you actually know what you are saying. So references are important when you are citing someone else. And I noticed that your eye contacts were based just here, and you tend to neglect the people sitting over here. So I thought you could improve on that. Then the final thing I would recommend for you is your use of stage. I was sitting down here trying to help you with the camera, but I still found out that you were rooted here for the entire time of the meeting. The stage is wide enough, you could use it. But all in all, I thought it was a good speech, and I hope and I wish to listen to you speak more. Thank you very much, the General Evaluator.
If I was one that just got painted candles, I would like to come and validate that meeting. Just be full of commendations. But thank you very much for that. Okay, Toastmaster Ogola. The next evaluator is Toastmaster Ogola. In case you don't know Toastmaster, she is the current evaluation champion. What you
Thank you very much, TM. For this. Unfortunately, my speaker, or rather the speaker that I'm evaluating, had to step out, but she's going to be online. So I'm going to give the evaluation all the same. One thing I liked about TM Dara's evaluation was her introduction. She immediately transported us to her childhood. And so when she told us the story of how she bit her friend while she was on the monkey bars, we were actually not surprised because children tend to do the most silly things. And that was quite engaging, which actually met one of her objectives of her speech. She also used very good use of her vocal variety. She's clearly a storyteller because she took us on that journey of what happened in her childhood and even in her adulthood. And I'm really wondering if she's still as precarious in nature, even as an adult. Her descriptive language also helped our imagination as she was telling us her story. However, one thing that I felt that TM Dara could have done better was to have used the space. She stood here most of the time. Even though she used her hands, she neglected most of the people that were here. So she must always remember that when she's speaking to an audience, especially when they're on both sides of the room, she has to use both the left and also the right side of the room. Another thing that she could do better is use more of her body language. When she was talking about the monkey bars, I expected her to show, because not everybody knows what monkey bars are, even though she expressed it with her vocabulary. Another thing that she could have done was to have showed us how she was trying to block, you know, the police officers or who that were trying to gain access. So she could have done that to help us really see how she was trying to avoid them from following her. All in all, she did very well with her descriptive language. Her vocal variety was fantastic. And I really hope that next time she will stay behind to listen for her evaluation. Thank you. Over to you.
And we just quickly move to the third person who will be evaluating two speakers.
Thank you so much, the general evaluator, for the warm introduction. Can we please give a round of applause to Toastmaster Adewumi? Delivered a toast on a social speech, and I'm going to be giving her my feedback on the speech which she had delivered. Toastmaster Adewumi was very articulate and very intentional when she was giving her toast. First, her speech was clear. We had so much clarity on the purpose of her speech and on the speech which she delivered. She also had good storytelling capabilities. She was able to, walk us through the story around her getting to give her own speech today, the stories around it, and it was very engaging and very relatable to most of us. She also had mastered her pacing. She was not too fast, and she was also not too slow. She was able to, take us to that destination while she was delivering her speech. And also, she was able to deliver her speech by getting to start with a quote. It's only an experienced speaker who gets to infuse quotes during the process of speaking. But she began her speech by getting to begin her speech with a quote. However, while she was exceptional with getting to deliver her acceptance speech or the toast, I would have expected or rather advised that for a toast of that kind of magnitude, it would have been best that she stood up, right, to, to lead the chair of the toast. But she was sitting down, and, the rest of us here, we stood up, when the most part of it stood up to get to accept the vote. I would suggest or recommend that perhaps she could also consider to stand up when she wants to initiate a toast in that kind of a magnitude. Also, she was very intentional when she raised the glass, and she also encouraged most of us to also join her to raise the glass. And one thing that was striking about her speech was that she ended with a call to action, which she said that together we can achieve so much more. Congratulations, Toastmaster Adewumi, for delivering an exceptional speech in your presentation pathway. So I'll quickly move on to the next speaker, which is Toastmaster Abisola Lekan Akambi, who delivered an acceptance speech on the nomination as a social and welfare secretary. One thing I loved the most about Toastmaster Abisola's speech was that she was fully aware of her audience. She narrowed down her speech to the audience which were in her community, which she was communicating to. Beyond that, she was able to first accept the role, the nomination, and then she now went ahead to acknowledge the need for their support. Now, that already had given them the impression that, yes, I have accepted this, but we are going to do this together. Also, beyond that, she also went ahead to state her plans on what she is going to do for this community, which she also talked about getting to create a community center that is going to have swimming pools, a place where children are going to be playing, right? And, her plans was clear, and she was very intentional about getting to serve in the capacity which she was nominated for. But however, why she was so exceptional, I would suggest that her vocal variety was perhaps the same while she was giving her speech. During the process of her acceptance, during the process where she was giving her acceptance speech, perhaps she should show us that soft spot of emotion that she felt the level of acceptance. We need to feel it, but there was a monotone kind of expression all throughout the speech. So perhaps we should consider getting to, dilute or perhaps make her vocal variety to be intense at some point. And also, at the ending part of her speech, she also gave a call to action, which should also encourage the neighborhood to be at the lookout of one another. I believe that she has met the objective of her speech, and I would like to say well done to Toastmaster Abisola Lekan Akambi. Thank you so much.
Very much, sir. And we just move quickly to the last piece of the editor.
Let us put our hands together. Let us jam the Thank you and well done. I would say the topic in itself for Toastmaster Ajani was enthralling, quite insightful and interesting. So let the audience with what does Toastmaster Ajani want to tell us about? Very well done with the choice of topic. I will say some notable beginnings for you. You allowed the audience to relax with some jokes here and there with the mic and so on before you went head on into your speech. Very well done. About the dramas, whether you had drama or there was no drama when it comes to the art of surveying. Well done. So you also later took us into the small project as your speech objective recommended. Told us about the Akure project, how you went to Akure. You told us 3 segments, 3 critical strategies that you implemented. You told us communication, the choice of equipment, and a logistics for the small scale project. At a point in your story at the introduction, you use the slang. Some of us, we understood this because we are, and some of us, we own this space. If you can say that, we have been in Lagos for a while, and you, for others that do not know what it meant, you did interpretation. Very well done, this Master Journey. Some recommendations, they're going to give us your plan, how you have marshaled your plan. I felt your meandering, your rigmaroling was a little too excessive. You didn't hit the nail on the head as quick as possible. So when I was at the timekeeper, when the green card came up, that was when you went to the Akure project. So next time, please work on that. The dramas of surveying took so much time and ate into the project itself. If I have my way, you may have to read this, but let me be basic. So some other areas of improvement, your imaginary mic, you were on and off, you wanted to use mic, at a point, you use the mic, at a point, you will keep it resetting. Is it your mic? Is it not your mic? So if when not in use, let it be. Hands in the pocket. I know you're a confident speaker. As a former president of this club, you want to shape up as well, please. You can speak to us without those hands in the pocket. The technical item of equipment that you mentioned, please, you can take them slowly. I didn't do surveying, so I didn't really get those. So take them slowly so we can, even though I want to research and Google them, I should be able to get them later. Like I mentioned earlier, the mic, because you did not really use your body very because your hand were busy. You started at 4 p.m. your project, you didn't tell us when you ended. Also, your reports, when you send the reports to the clients, the terms of payment, the feedback from the client, we didn't see all those in your small scale project because you were too mirthful telling us about the drama of surveying, how you went into the forest and how they changed when you should have been, your small scale project. Ajani, please take note. So, I mean, your pacing and movements were rather too mirthful and not purposeful. Take note. Conclusion was a little abrupt. No drama, but you give us drama. All the dramas in the business of surveying. Well done, Toastmaster Jani, the general evaluator.
Now we'll just quickly move to the table evaluation. Well, because of time, and the table evaluator already told you that you not anything. If not, you are going to do. So we'll just quickly move to my team's evaluation of this meeting. And the first person that we're going to do is Master Francis. That's why I begin by that.
Penalty for I think get to take notes of your. I think you used the word of the day. Let me see the merciful. And the period of March and mercy. So well done. Please can we put our hands together for all of us? I was scared at some point that I will come with my word of the day and go back home with it. But some of you showed me mercy during the course of the meeting. Thank you again and again. This Master Kudus used the word of the day. That merciful, let me add the last one. That is 2 times. This Master Olusegun, well done. Neither you're not there, but let me be merciful. Use it 2 times. Master Jagun, use it 3 times alongside Master Francis, use it 3 times. Let's put our hands together for every one of them. So for some of us, we had ample opportunity. So maybe throw in the word of the day. He was livid, angry, maybe he was not mirthful. What do you think, Thomas Jargon? Is it not ideal? It works. When Toastmaster Dara mentioned, I smiled at the soldier and put my tongue out. I put up a mirthful man, a mirthful disposition at the soldier. What do you think, Toastmaster Ogona? Thank you. And the Toastmaster Ogona I just called. Yellow is bright, yellow is enthralling, yellow is beautiful, yellow is cheerful, but yellow is never meant. Why, Toastmaster Ogona? I need to think you're my friend. I think that deem it fit to use the word of the day. We'll talk about that after now. So very well done. I think I heard some good pronunciation. I heard someone say, think. Very well done. Purpose, not purpose. Purpose. Well done. Somebody said quotes. Instead of quotes. I think the right pronunciation is quotes, not quotes. I think somebody said leave a lasting good impression. I think there's no need for the add good. Leave a lasting impression is fine. Someone said highlighted. To be highlight, to come down from a vehicle to highlight, not highlight. Someone said, I am going to be evaluating. This is advice. The too many verbs and that we have there can be infused in one. I will evaluate this matter of one. I am going to be speaking. I am going to be evaluating. And just put all in will. It's not Wednesday. Please take notes. Fellow Toastmasters and get. It is what? Wednesday. Just like I used to call Leicester. I had issues with Leicester because it's Leicester City. You know the football club in England, Leicester City, not Leicester. So it is Wednesday, not
Wednesday.
Thank you. I also heard she gave the speech sitting down. Why sitting down? You can rephrase. Sitting down is an intransitive verb, not a continuous verb. So she sat as she gave the speech. Because you do it once at a time, not a continuous verb. I think that is it. Okay, fine. Someone said we are, as Toastmasters, we are familiar with each other. When it's more than two persons, familiar with one another. So when it's between a pair, between myself and Toastmaster Olusegun, can feel familiar with each other. But when it's, I'm giving an instance for myself and the rest of the audience members, I say here, familiar with one another. I think the lady just said, but let me take it again. Familiar with one another when it's more than one. Familiar with each other when it's just two persons relating it to person. Thank you very much. It's been a great honor and privilege. Some people say I'm mirthful. I want to be mirthful like my former past president, my former president, Toastmaster Ajay, the general evaluator.
And those are the ones because I use word Thank you very much. And we'll move quickly to the, I'll just take the counter before we take the 10 people. My counter.
Good afternoon, dear Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
This was really a mindful meeting and I enjoyed myself so much.
Well done.
I laughed, I cried, I got and most importantly, I learned a lot. So I almost forgot I was playing a role. So thanks for the remember. So I was able to pick a few words and Toastmaster Ibrahim used the word 2 times. And Toastmasters Ade used the word so 2 times. Thank you very much. That's my report.
Thank you very much. And I think we all know who the art champions. I'm gonna have
Actually, count that.
because she gave 2 right? And why giving that? You like. So what do you tell her? No. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay. Before we go to the time pass reports, we are supposed to take the vote for the great speech evaluator. I mean, we take care of it. And I have me launch for your online audience. While we take the votes, we will take the reports of timekeeper. Let's see how we are faring time so far.
I can take it from here. Okay.
All right. Okay.
We did so well.
That's of the online audience.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good afternoon once again from the fellow Toastmasters and guests. We did, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good afternoon.
We did so well with the timing. Toastmaster Francis from Zoom. So for our speech, for our prepared speeches, they are on time, speak on the allotted time, within the allotted time, and the table topic as well. Thanks to Toastmaster Olusegun with the gifts that makes everyone to stick to 1 minute, 1 minute, speaking up to 1 minute. All the table topic speakers speak within that 1 minute to 2 minutes. For the evaluator, Toastmaster Francis evaluation is 4 minutes, 6 seconds. I think that is out of above the allotted time is cancelled. So Toastmaster Una, Toastmaster Penna, Toastmaster Ibe, they are all in allotted time, except Toastmaster Francis. In all, back to you, Jonathan.
That is the report of my team members. I'll just the first one, Toastmaster of the day. That's right. This one, I'm sure you must you will agree with me that it's a big implemental meeting. So the side arms, all the meetings to order, we started the meeting around 1:03. That's 3 minutes late. The president gave us an inspiring, I love it. Going quiet, that's something that we all do right now. The Toastmaster of the day was very engaging. I shouldn't say it exactly, but it was very engaging. He also considered that we have guests in the room and introduced the setting of the meeting to them. I should have 5 minutes.
You said?
I'm supposed to have 5 minutes, right?
5 minutes.
Yes.
No, it's 5 minutes.
It's 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay, let me note it.
Okay, we had great speakers. Because Master Olusegun gave us a very good lesson. Making a first impression takes 7 seconds, and I'm sure that if you are just knowing him, he made a very good impression, a very good first impression.
Yes.
Master, don't worry. Next one, we are playing think for the to my fellow advanced education. Those Master, that was a very good speech. I think Then I think when we came to the toast, I liked the way Toastmaster Adeomi used what just happened yesterday and turned it into a speech, and it was so wonderful. Toastmaster Abisola, Toastmaster Ajani also gave us a very nice speech. Your evaluator has already done good justice, so I'm really talk so much about that. Then I'll move to the table topic master. That was a very good session. I think that was the first time I'm seeing that, and it's
Online want you to speak up.
okay. Oh, sorry.
No, it's working. Speak out. Raise your voice.
Not
Okay,
supposed to be.
but she said your voice is fine, but she thinks it's where she is. That's why she's not getting.
Okay, all right. Is it better now?
I'm sure.
The table topics master, I like the fact that that session was actually very engaging and expensive. I would have said I want to try that. Expensive. Then we moved to the evaluation segment. All evaluators came very good and we actually understood this. What could we have done better? I think even at the beginning of the meeting, we actually learned the lesson. We spent time, a lot of time on the introduction of the meeting. So it's actually eating to the tempo of the meeting. The word of the day, we actually avoided like the points. I know it was not. We actually avoided the Toastmaster of the day at the point mixed up the agenda, called it evaluator immediately. I think that did not give her the ample time to write down her topic. It was just immediately after the table topics session. She did so well, she did perfectly well, and I think she would have given us better if we give her time to put our talk together. And I also think that the turnout is not really that encouraging. I think the schools have to do better in trying to get people to turn out for meetings, especially physically. Since we are aiming for this very. That should be that actually been a very good meeting so far. We have done really well, time and everything, so that I don't take all the time that we have gained. I am just going to leave us with this. As the theme of the today said, break barriers, build bridges. In this meeting so far, we saw barriers and we are hoping that we have a survey, we have an architect, so they're making that we are bringing. And actually, I will just let people know that every workplace world is a bridge to better understanding. So please let's keep speaking. Let's keep speaking to build to break barriers and make more networks, meet more people, reach more people are building bridges in the way. So I'm going to just hand over to the Toastmaster of the
It seems like we're tired. The evaluation team has done a lot of work to give you actionable feedback you can take to get better. So that's not enough. You need to give them. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, for your feedback. And for the ones that concern me, I have taken note of them. And now I've been given the responsibility of announcing our award winners for this meeting. For where should I start from? Let's start from table topics. For our best table topics speaker for today's meeting, drum rolls. Our guest, Akolade. Mr. President, who's taking pictures? Chocolate. Right. Mr. President, please join us.
Please. All right, let me think about
Good. Thank you. That was an incredible speech. Thank you. For our best speaker, sadly, stepped out. But we will make sure our ribbon is passed to our Toastmaster, Dara. For the best evaluator for this meeting, drum rolls. Toastmaster being Sweden also away from the meeting. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, do not allow your fears to become walls. Turn them into bridges. In light of the theme for today's meeting, which is break barriers, build bridges. When the president spoke at the beginning of the meeting, he spoke to us about how building bridges is about creating connections. Look into others, don't just break the barrier, connect with other people. So my final charge for us is, before we leave this room, we have guests here. We have maybe other Toastmasters we've not really connected with before. My charge is connect with someone new before you leave this meeting today. And at this point, I'd like to give control of the meeting back to the president of Seaside Toastmasters Club. A round of applause for him. I think they could still hear.
Yes, they have.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Please, can we celebrate the Toastmaster of the Day? Yes, please celebrate it. Thank you so much for getting to guide us all through today's meeting and also getting to do it with so much energy, so much love, and so much passion. Well done to you. I'd like to say thank you to everyone for even staying up to this moment. It's not easy to begin the new month, 1st of March, with a meeting that has to do with an educational meeting that is training us to become better communicators and better leaders. Please, can we celebrate ourselves? Thank you so much. I also like to celebrate those online who are still with us. Thank you for getting to still stay with us up till this moment. We'd like to apologize for keeping you waiting for 26 minutes. It is not our usual character. We are very sorry about it. I'd like to once again celebrate everyone who has come up stage to speak. We have role players who were able to do justice to the different roles we played. We had exceptional speakers who were able to research, who were able to come on stage to present their speeches. We also had our guests who were able to speak off the cuff even without preparation. And we had a landmark achievement today. Today, we are celebrating a seasoned Toastmasters who have been speaking back to back. They achieved level 1 and they still went on, they didn't stop. They achieved level 2, they still went on, they did not stop. And today, they just finished and achieved level 3. Please, today. It was indeed an amazing speech. And also, we have to reserve the presidential celebration for the last, because we had, beyond getting to have people who have achieved a triple crown. Now, Toastmaster Bisola and Toastmaster Ademomi, I believe they will update their profile too. When you are introducing the next time, you have to mention that they are triple crown award winners in Seaside Toastmasters Club. However, beyond that, we also have our exceptional, ever supportive, ever ready to listen immediate past president, who also completed his level 3 today. Please help me also celebrate him. Yes, thank you so much. Seaside has been very supportive from the member level to our mentors, to our past presidents. They have shown so much support and love for what we do. And just like the Toastmaster of the Day has encouraged us to continue to build connections. Please, while we build bridges, let us also continue to build the connections that we need to sustain the bridges which we have built. I also like to mention that our next meeting is happening on International Women's Day, which is going to be next week Saturday. And I believe that yes, executives are going to prepare something special for the women. Perhaps maybe the women will be the one to do justice to all the things that we'll be doing on the 8th. And it's going to be a special meeting. I'd like to please encourage you to please join us. And also, the area is going to be having our area contest. So area contest for the benefit of our guests, for members who have, joined Toastmasters Club, they have the opportunity to compete at the club level, and they can advance to the area level as well as advance to the division and district. So we have conducted our club contest, and now winners from our club have advanced to the area. And that area contest is going to happen next 2 weeks, Saturday, on the 15th of March. And we're going to share details with you on the link to register so that you can also participate and also represent Seaside Toastmasters Club. There are a lot of events that will be happening. We're going to be sending you emails, we're going to be sending you messages. We have the district conference coming up in June. We also have the division conference that will be happening around May. Then we'll share details with you as well. And a lot of activities.
What are you representing or studying contest? So we can know them.
Yes. In fact, somebody just, for the benefit of our online guests who did not hear the question, the very brilliant question that our IPP has asked, he wants us to show the people that are going to be representing us at the area contest. And permit me to welcome Toastmaster Kudos. Yeah, online. Those are the people that are going to be representing us. Toastmaster Kudos. Yes. And Toastmaster Olusegun as well. So yes, for the benefit of those online joining us, so they are going to be representing us at the area contest, and also they will advance to the division, because definitely they are going to win that contest. And by the special grace of God, we are going to advance to the division and as well to the districts by the special grace of God. So thank you so much, everyone. I'd like to especially appreciate our guests who joined us online. I could see some heavyweights who joined us online. I see all the guests. We recognize all the guests. We also see Toastmaster Ibele. I believe currently she's not in the country, but she made it a duty to join. Thank you so much, ma'am. And also see Whitty and Judy. Whitty and Judy also joined us. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining. All the division executives, all the area executives, all the club executives, we want to appreciate you for the continuous support that you have given to us. And without further ado, and I would like to keep us here further. So by the powers vested on me as the president, I therefore declare today's meeting a close. Thank you so much for joining us as we look forward to getting to have you join us in our next meeting, which is happening on the 8th of March, 2025. Thank you. For our guests, you may please stay behind so that we can give you pep talk on the entire structure of Toastmasters. For guests online, if you want to progress to become a member and you have specific questions you would like to ask us, please stay behind so that we can address you. And for our guests physically present, please, if you have, you may please stay behind so that we can get to also speak with you. Thank you so much, everyone, and we wish you an amazing weekend.
Thank you, my. How you doing?
Good afternoon, our guests online. If you're a guest, just say I am a guest. Put in the chat box, I am a guest. Let me know. I can see Jennifer, I can see Omobuale, I can see Maruf.
Is that cake or something?
I'm a guest, I'm a guest, I'm a guest. Beautiful, beautiful. So we just like to hear from you. Just a bit, you can unmute yourself. Let's start with Jennifer. Jennifer, just tell us your name, what you do, and your impression about the meeting today. Jennifer?
It's always a pleasure to be on. It's my
Jennifer, the guests.
Okay, she said. I'm currently not in a place to speak.
Okay, just call the next person in the chat. The guests.
You say, okay, Lawan.
Not unable to speak his current location. Okay. Jennifer is the guest, not able to speak. Omobuale, can we hear from you?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, hi, good afternoon. So my name is Omobuale Kadiri. I work with Access Bank Customer Experience Team. It's quite interesting. It's from the evaluator, the speakers, the whole analysis, and it's interesting. It's really nice being in you guys' midst. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Omobuale. Who is the next person? Can I see? Yes, Maruf. I can't see again.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hey, good afternoon.
Wale is my name. I'm a medical physicist. I own and run a relationship advisory consulting firm, and I'm delighted to be here.
Okay, thank you. So for the guests, just for this session, what I wanted to let you know, is anyone I'm missing? No? Yes, Mobile Jennifer can speak. Yes, so what we wanted you to know for Toastmasters is an international club. We are in over 250 countries across the world. So we have clubs scattered all over the world, and Seaside Toastmasters Club is one of them. We meet in Echo Hotels and online, the hybrid meeting every first Saturday of the month. And we also meet strictly online on Zoom every second Saturday of the month. So you are encouraged to mark your diary, mark your calendar, and join us for the next meeting, which will be next Saturday. If you are interested in being a member of Seaside or of any Toastmasters club, maybe closer to you, we have lots of them in Lagos, the Access Women Toastmasters Club for Access Bank staff. I had an Access Bank someone here, so you can join that. You can join us at Seaside. You can join at Surulere, at Ikeja. There are lots of different clubs scattered around Lagos. But we would love to have you as members of Seaside, to see you here and to see your beautiful faces. If you are interested in being a member, I would encourage you to just drop your email in the chat, if that would be fine. But if you don't want your email in public, you can send a private email to, yes, to DK. There is DK. Yes, the account I am speaking from now. You can send a private message on Zoom right now. Just drop your email and we'll send across details on how you can become a member of our club. Toastmasters is a supporting environment that helps members grow. Here we learn how to communicate effectively, because for some of us, our careers and our lives depend on how we talk. And we also learn how to lead, because leadership is also something that determines how far we can go in life. If communications, leadership, public speaking is something you are interested in or something you would love to work on, believe me, Seaside Toastmasters Club or any other Toastmasters Club is the right place for you. If you are interested in being a Toastmaster, please drop an email and we will reach out to you. And even though you are not interested right now, you still want to be a guest, feel free to enjoy. Come along, come to our meetings. We'll be glad to see you next Saturday. And we will be glad to see you even at other Toastmasters Club if you want to visit any other. Thank you once again. My name is Toastmaster Ugonna, and it's a delight talking to you all today. I hope that you become a Seaside Toastmaster by the next time we will be seeing, hopefully physically. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. Yes, guys, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dawa. Thank you all to the guests. And please drop your email. Don't forget, if you are interested in being a Toastmaster, and have a beautiful Saturday. Thank you. Do you have any questions before I go? I would like to take questions. If you have any questions, you can just mute your microphone and ask. Maybe any concerns or something you might just want to ask before I leave. No questions? All right, thank you very much. In the absence of any question, do have a beautiful day. Have a good afternoon. Thank you once again.
So that when I'm 40, understand, not when I want to live. I can't stand up, I want to take good shots. Okay, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's fine. Just get the let me show you what I expect. So that person what time is now? This is the next. Are you trying to see what you see?
Yeah, I was wondering so actually, I got one call.
Those guys are like, they're used to it. It's really hard.
Thank you.
Reach out to them. Oh, that's hey, I didn't see. Where did you get this from? Yes. Let's go down. I will.
Now we have